What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Welcome to the channel. Today we have a ton of news about Spider-Man Brand New Day today, coming from a lot of different insiders. We have a plot leak that talks about the Avengers showing up, at least some of them showing up in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which we have heard a little bit about before, and a couple of different insiders have given us some information about specific villains and specific scenes that are going to be coming in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like I mentioned, a lot to go over today, and if you're new and you love Spider-Man, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. We're almost to 1 million subscribers at the channel. We'd love it if you joined our community. Now, let's first get into this Avengers leak. This is coming from the insider Majestic. They have had a few reports so far about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Some of their reports have already been proven true for Avengers Doomsday, but we're still waiting on Spider-Man Brand New Day, as with all leaks, taken with a grain of salt. But this is what they're reporting. It is Shathra manipulating Banner to turn back into Savage Hulk. So right away, if this leak is true, Shathra is seemingly going to be the main villain, in which a lot of people have recently said the main villain is a multiversal female villain, which is Shathra. They can make her into that in the MCU. It makes sense, given her backstory in the comics with the astral plane and the spider totems, etc. A story that I don't know if they're ever really going to explore in live action, especially after Madam Web. We got Ezekiel Sims and it just wasn't good, but I digress. The leak says that Shathra is going to be the one manipulating Bruce Banner to turn back into Savage Hulk. Peter and Punisher try stopping an angry Hulk controlled by rage. They also stop Scorpion. It's a battle in New York. They save Bruce Banner, who is in human form. Frank is the MVP of the battle. And I did also hear a different version of this that said that Peter does try to stop the Hulk at first, but fails, which makes sense. And the reason that Frank is actually able to stop the Hulk is because he has advanced technology that he basically uses to stop the Hulk, which I really wouldn't be surprised if Frank got his hands on some advanced, maybe gamma technology that would indeed stop the Hulk. But it says Frank is the MVP of the battle. And that makes sense if he did have that tech to be able to stop the Hulk. Also, there's technology to control and keep a Hulk in human form. Notice how they say a Hulk, because Bruce Banner's Hulk isn't the only Hulk in the MCU now. We're going to get to more about that in just a bit. But here's where it gets really interesting. The events of Captain America 4, so Brave New World, have consequences, okay? Scorpion is also apprehended. When Frank and Spider-Man finish, a group of Avengers approaches, wanting to recruit them to their team. Yelena's new Avengers versus Sam's Avengers. This is what I thought was basically going to happen when we got reports from other insiders in the past that stated Sam Wilson's Captain America was going to be in the movie and Yelena Belova was going to be in the movie as well. I thought they're probably going to try to recruit Spider-Man. And I mean, Bruce Banner was already an OG Avenger, so I don't know if you really need to recruit him. Maybe try to get him to come back, but it sounds like he might be in some trouble here after the events of Spider-Man Brand New Day after they happen. But I figured when we got the reportings for those characters that they were going to be in the film, they'd want to recruit Spider-Man, especially because nobody knows that it's Peter Parker. They just know Spider-Man. Hey, we need to get this guy on our team, especially because there's some big space crisis happening right now. So seems like they're preparing for something. Avengers Doomsday. But it goes on, and it says both are rejected, and this is the interesting part, by Spider-Man and Frank. Would they try to recruit Frank Castle, the Punisher? I mean, considering that he is reportedly going to stop a Hulk in this, yeah, seems like somebody that they might want to have on their team. And if you think about it, the new Avengers with a Z, that's kind of, like he's not very much different than Yelena. He probably doesn't have as good hand-to-hand combat, right? But he's not a super soldier, doesn't have any superpowers, but neither does Yelena. Training is what he has, and aggression and anger, and clearly some advanced tech. So I think it would make sense for him to be recruited by the new Avengers with a Z. But yeah, they both say no. And I'm actually curious to hear Peter's reaction to that. I feel like it would be kind of emotional, because he's been with the Avengers before, but nobody remembers him. I wonder if they remember that Spider-Man himself fought with the team in Infinity War in Endgame, because they should only forget who Peter is, not Spider-Man, but we'll have to wait and see on that. It was confirmed recently by somebody on the team that it's going to pick up right where Spider-Man No Way Home left off, where no one remembers Peter, which, like, yeah, we already knew that, but they did confirm that. They say the consequences of Hulk Banner's actions in Brand New Day will be judged by a group of people. He could be placed in isolation on the Raft. There he will be alongside the leader, Red Hulk, and Abomination. The Gamma family is there. So that's interesting. It's really interesting, especially because insider Alex Perez has said that they are going to explore the Raft a little bit in Avengers Doomsday. It's not going to be, like a main plot point, but they are going to visit it in Avengers Doomsday. And he was specifically talking about the prison, not the life rafts, although he did say we're going to see a version of that as well, which is interesting. So we have the leaked concept art for Avengers Secret Wars, where we have like a supposed Greenland, where everybody there is a version of a Hulk, which is interesting. We saw She-Hulk and Scar, Hulk's son. Perhaps something happens with all of the Hulks. Who knows? But it would be interesting to see Bruce Banner end up on the Raft after. I don't think that'll happen because I think everybody knows who Bruce Banner is, what he's done for everybody. I mean, he literally snapped and brought everybody back, right? And then Iron Man's the one who snapped to defeat Thanos and everybody. But the snap that Bruce did / the Hulk, he's the one who actually brought half of the universe back to life. So it's kind of like, you're a hero, but also at the same time, when you Hulk out, you put a lot of people in danger. What do we kind of do? And it sounds like that's kind of what the leak is saying here. That's what the people are going to be deciding. What do we do? Which I totally get. So that's really interesting. If that leak is accurate, then that tells us quite a bit. Now, we do have some more information about Tombstone from Alex Perez from thecosmiccircus.com. He states, a cool thing I heard about the plans for Tombstone is to push him as a Spidey trilogy character rather than just a one and done type deal, which I love because I think there are some characters that are really cool and really big that don't deserve to die right away, but deserve to be around for a really long time. And not to say all characters are like the same as far as like importance or like how big they are, but depending on the person you ask, they could be. But I just think of Loki and just his entire arc throughout the entirety of the MCU is so good. I wish we had that kind of for Ultron, even though he's returning. I think Ultron should always return because that's how he is in the comics and stuff. But sometimes they should really not just kill characters, right? Sometimes they should, but sometimes they should keep them around. But he continues and says, notice how I said character, not villain. So that's interesting. Spectacular Spider-Man is the best example I can give to the take they want to do. Will Spidey go toe-to-toe with the big man? It'll be interesting to see how much of their values kind of align, but have different approaches. So that's really, really interesting. So it seems like as we go on through this new trilogy, they'll kind of butt heads, but they'll also kind of like Spider-Man might realize like he's not the worst of the worst and there's bigger problems, and maybe Tombstone could even help him out at some points in time. You go ahead, let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. There are going to be a ton of villains in this movie. And speaking of that, two new reports from Daniel RPK from his Patreon account. He states that in Spider-Man Brand New Day, there's going to be a massive prison battle with a possible Shang-Chi villain returning. Now, that Shang-Chi villain has a little bit to do with the next report, I believe. But a massive prison battle makes a ton of sense because we've already seen leaked videos of Matt Gargan, Scorpion, actually getting out of prison. He's in a prison uniform. He gets in a helicopter. They take him away. So somebody is clearly making this prison battle happen to get Scorpion out of prison. I don't know if it's to specifically get Scorpion or to get a few people out, but Scorpion's obviously going to be one of the big characters, one of the big villains that shows up in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, going on to his other report, he said on his Patreon that Spider-Man Brand New Day will feature a battle between Spider-Man and an army of ninjas. And a lot of people think that army of ninjas could tie into the 10 Rings organization, that they could be kind of just like mercenaries now that are for hire. And perhaps they are hired maybe for the prison breakout. Perhaps they're hired for something else. We've heard some stuff about like the Silver Samurai possibly appearing. I'm all for Spider-Man fighting an army of ninjas, especially because Jackie Chan's coordination team was there working with Spider-Man Brand New Day. They're doing the stunts and stuff. So I think that could be just absolutely phenomenal to see. But I do think it would be really cool to tie it into the Ten Rings, especially because the Ten Rings, obviously from Shang-Chi, and his sister, Ji Ling, is in charge of the Ten Rings now. But Destin Daniel Cretton, he directed Shang-Chi, and he is directing Spider-Man Brand New Day. So it makes sense that they would connect the Ten Rings organization, not physically the Ten Rings items, but the organization that Ji Ling now has. It makes total sense that they would do that. So it's really interesting. A lot is happening in Spider-Man Brand New Day if these reports are accurate. A lot is happening, but it does make me a lot more excited for the movie. I just hope it really does keep all the focus on Spider-Man, and in all of this stuff that's going on, of course, he's involved in every single part of it. That's my hope. And I still don't know what the end's going to be like tying into Doomsday. I'm kind of worried about that. It does kind of seem like he's not going to appear in Avengers Doomsday now, which is interesting, but we'll have to wait and see how they do it. In the meantime, let me know what you think about all of these leaks and reports in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Spider-Man and Marvel news. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.